The one thing most new runners get wrong is how they build their aerobic fitness. Change this one thing and everything about your running will start to improve. My name's Drew, I'm an amateur runner in Flagstaff, Arizona. Let's talk about running. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they feel like they just need to get a workout. That means when people start running, they'll go out and they'll run hard, or they'll run moderately hard most of the time. This drastically reduces your ability to build your aerobic fitness over time. In running daily or regularly with rest breaks in between, allows you to build that aerobic engine over time and give your body the ability to become a stronger, faster, better overall runner. Now, don't get me wrong, going out and running kind of hard often, it makes you feel good. That's why people do it. But the biggest problem with that, it impacts your ability to be consistent. So consistency is the main key here. Consistency gives your body the ability to build its aerobic engine over time and ensure that you're going to be running stronger, faster, more comfortably, and further overall. So there are three main things that you can do to improve your aerobic fitness overall. The first thing is just running easy, making sure that you're running at a conversational pace, that your intensity is not inhibiting your ability to go out and run the next day. So by giving your body the ability to actively recover every day, either running, walking, whatever it is, you're giving your body time to rest, build up not just aerobically, but physically in all of the tendons and muscular damage that you do through running, because running is a high impact sport. You're giving your body the ability to recover and make sure that it's ready to go again. So building up that consistency, you're getting regular stimulus that's going to allow your body to adapt over time and become a stronger runner. So with that consistency, you need to plan out how many days am I going to run. So if you run currently 2 to 3 days a week, that's a great starting place. You're giving your body the ability to recover and adapt in between those runs. So as long as you're running easy enough where you're not building up too much fatigue during the week, you can sustain 3 days a week, do that for 2 to 3 weeks, then increase to 4 days a week. Then after that, another 2 to 3 weeks, increase to 5 days a week. This will allow you to keep that main factor of being consistent in place while you introduce new stimulus over time. Making sure that the new stimulus is not too much. Never increase intensity and volume being time on feet or mileage, whatever you use. I like to use time on feet for new runners particularly, because mileage can be so inconsistent. So making sure that you keep the consistency factor in place is huge. And so that's my third point, is making sure that you're being intentional with how you introduce different stimuli that are going to create new fatigue in your body that requires recovery. So intensity can be your pace. It can be your rate of perceived exertion, which is basically how intense you feel like you're working over time. Or it can be the type of work you're doing, whether you're focusing on your aerobic system, so you're building up that aerobic base, or you have more of a neuromuscular fatigue from running hills, doing higher intensity stuff. Don't go run a bunch of hills at the same time as you're increasing the load of that aerobic fitness. So what that means in practice is if you go out for a really, really long run at a lower intensity, the next day you don't want to go run a bunch of hills, because both of those are new stimuli that are going to fatigue your body in different ways. And you need to see how you're going to adapt to those different stimuli. So over time, the main things that you want to focus on, number one is consistency, but it's building that aerobic base doing easy running. Number two, it's figuring out the frequency and consistency that you're going to be able to do that. And number three, it's making sure that you build up slowly and don't increase multiple different intensity or stimuli within the same time period. You need to give your body the ability to recover from those efforts. Now, what's this gonna look like in practice? Running easy means you're really focusing on slower, almost feeling too slow easy running. You should be able to hold a conversation fully. You should be breathing relatively normally while holding that conversation. You should not feel too fatigued when you're done, and you should preferably stop before you're too tired. Do that consistently, and then you can start adding in smaller stimuli once you've built that aerobic base. But building your aerobic fitness is not about going out and running hard at the beginning, because you have not built up your capacity to do more higher intensity aerobic work. If you haven't built up that engine, then you cannot go out and really push that engine to see what it's capable of doing. And in terms of building up the volume, if you're starting, like I said, at 3 days a week of running, do that for several weeks, then increase to 4 days of running. If running is too intense and it pushes you past that ability to have a conversation, then maybe you should be walking, or at least take some walk breaks in between some bouts of running, so you keep that heart rate lower and you keep your overall rate of perceived exertion a lot lower. So if you're starting at 30-minute runs, again, I like that 2 to 3 week mark to really make sure that your body's leveling out and adapting to the stimulus, and then you increase that stimulus. So you would do maybe 2 to 3 weeks at 30 minutes of running 3 times a week. Go ahead and increase that to 40 minutes for each of those sessions, and do that for a few weeks. Once you've built up to several days of running at a much longer duration, so 30, 40, 50 minutes, then it's probably safe to start thinking about adding in some strides, some really short, faster bouts of running. But in terms of building your aerobic fitness, you really want to focus on those 3 things: keeping it slow, easy paced, conversational. Make sure that you're thinking about the frequency and consistency of your running, and you're not taking long breaks because that intensity is too high. And then over time, you're going to increase that volume to force your body to adapt to the stimulus. Now, aerobic fitness is just one factor. In terms of being a better, stronger, faster runner, you're going to need to do other things like strength training, mobility, other recovery modalities to make sure that you're recovering well after you're doing a lot more bouts of harder efforts. So these are all other things that you can focus on. But as a beginner, you want to make sure that you're focusing on building that aerobic capacity and your ability to build up your engine, be able to run comfortably, easier for longer periods of time. Now, if you focus on these things, you're going to notice after a few weeks, you're going to be moving more comfortably. You're going to be feeling like running is a lot easier, and you're going to want to do more. I urge you, please don't do more than what you have prescribed for yourself, or what maybe a coach has prescribed for you, because patience and consistency is the key. The best thing that you can do for your fitness is build up that base over time. Consistency, volume at lower intensity, and once your body has adapted, then you can start thinking about other things. And this is how you're going to reach your goals of being a better, stronger, faster runner. So those are my tips for building up your aerobic fitness as a beginner. Please stay focused, stay patient, stay consistent, and I'll see you next time. If you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate if you dropped a like on this video and hit the subscribe button. I post a lot of content geared toward newer and intermediate runners, how to be better, stronger, faster. So I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.